So hello guys, in our previous class we discussed CSS colors. So in this class we are going to discuss CSS background. CSS background. But before we start, I want to download a, a picture on online for the sake of this lesson. Yes. Let me search a picture of beautiful free image. Let me search free image of a beautiful house. I'm going to download free image of a beautiful house. Search image. Yeah, can you see we have a lot of images here? So now I'll pick this. So let me click on the image. So now I would like to download the image. Save image as. Save the image as. So now let me go to the file we are working on currently, which is the file we are working on. I think it's documents. No, it's not documents. It's not documents. CSS. Okay, let me click on this CSS file and let me save it there. Let me just save the image there. So let me just say house.jpg. House.jpg. So I'll move the file to the file we are working on currently once it is downloaded. So now let's move on to this class. So in this class, we talk about background. Yes, CSS background. First one, which I think we are not new to, is the background color. Yes, specifying background color. Like let's say body here, body. Then we specify the background color. The background color. Let me specify the background color as gray. Yes, we are not new to background color. So now let me save as. Let me save as background color. So background. Yes, let me leave it as background. Yes, CSS background. So it has been saved. So now let me reload. No, I've saved it in another file name. I've saved it as another file name, so I have to reopen it in the browser. Where is the file? Background color. Yes. Let me reopen it in the browser. Open with Google Chrome. Yeah. So the background color has been changed. Can you see this? That's been applied. So now aside background color, you can also use image as background. That's what I want to point out. So now where is the image which we downloaded? Like the house image. Where is it? Okay, I think it's in the CSS. It's in the CSS folder named earlier. CSS folder. Let me search for the CSS folder. CSS folder. What's going on? What's going on? Come on. CSS folder. Now, what I want to say is you move the folder to the folder which you are working on. Move the CSS, the image, that house image which I downloaded earlier. Move it to the folder we are working on. So where is it? Let me look for it once again. Yes, let me just cut the file and paste it on the file which we are working on presently. Why is it why is it very slow? I don't know why it's slowing like that. So the file we are working on. So let me just paste it here. You can so though the this thing is not structured at the moment. So as time goes on, we're going to as we move on to the advanced concept, we begin to structure our file for to make it better. So now here is the file house. I've remain named the file name as house, and it is in JPG format. So now let's apply the background. Apply the image as background Yes. Here I will change the color. I will remove the background color and I will change it to background image. Yes. This will tell you that image can be used as background. And mind you, be mindful of how you use image as background because image, a big image will slow down your website. So be mindful of how you use image in your website. So house.jpg. So whenever you are specifying image as background, you start with background image, background iPhone image, then the URL. Specify the URL that is the path to the image you are using as the background. So now let's save it. And there are some also CSS property when it comes to background image. Yes, can you see? The image has been applied. Yes, the image has been applied. And there are some CSS properties. Here, the image is in repeat. And whenever you're applying background image, you set it to repeat or no repeat. Here, it is repeating itself. The image is repeating multiple times. But you can set it to no repeat. Yes, let's set the background repeat. That is, do you want the image or the background image to repeat? Background repeat. Yeah, we are setting it to no repeat. So no repeat. Yes, no repeat. Don't want it to repeat itself. So now let's save and let's reload once more. You see that the repeat will be gone now. Yeah, it's not repeating itself, so it's only showing in one place. Yeah, now there's also another thing called position. Yes, here you can position your background. I think is it not background position? Background position. Yes, background position. Let's specify the position because here the background position here is at the top left. So I want to specify it to center. I want to specify it to center so that the image will move close to the center. Can so all these CSS properties, if you want to know more about it, just make your research online. There are a lot of CSS properties on background position. I think is it not to center? Like let me say I want to make the image float to the center, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not working. It's not center. We also have another one called top left, right left. You can make your research more on background position. Make your research more on all these CSS properties we have been mentioning, from background repeat, background position, and background image. So now, another thing which I want to apply is the width of the image. Let me apply the width as most of the time you'll be using width with image. Let me apply the width as 600 pixel. And no, that's too much. 400 pixel, and the height as 300 pixel. You can use percent. You can specify if you want the image to span the entire width of the screen. You can use percent, like 100%. You just span the entire width. What's going on? Is the image width? No. Oh yeah. You can't use width and height because it's a background, not image. Yeah, you are using the image as background. Yes, you are using the image as background. Yeah, I can get it clear while the width and height is not applied. So if you want to specify the background size, let's change the size of the background. The background size, yes, let's increase the background size. So if you want to specify the size, you are going to specify the width and followed by the height. Let's say the width is 500 pixel and the height is 300 pixel. That's how to specify the size in CSS and the size of the background image in CSS. Now see that the size will change now. Yes, the size has been changed. So now I want to specify the width to be 100%. I want it to span the entire width of the document. So now let's save again. You see that it is span the entire width. Let me just give this one a height of 250. Yeah, I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be. So now let's see if it spanned the entire width or not. Can you see it has spanned the entire width of the page? So that is that on CSS background. Thank you very much.